All right, so get this. We've got
Whoa.
this news story,
Uh-huh.
and it's about this 22-year-old British guy calling himself Jimmy Ray,
Oh, wow.
who got captured fighting in Ukraine.
No kidding.
And it's like a deep dive.
Yeah.
Just looking into this one guy's story.
Interesting.
This guy was in the British Army,
Rare.
22nd Signal Regiment.
Huh.
But then he ended up in a Ukrainian International Brigade.
So a foreign fighter?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And I don't know about you, but it makes me wonder, like, what would make someone do that?
That's a great question.
Like, what takes someone from the British Army to Ukraine?
Right.
Like, what's that journey?
Yeah, like what happens in your life that leads you to that decision?
Yeah.
It's wild.
I mean, this isn't just some, theoretical geopolitical chess game.
No.
This is a real person
Exactly.
making these choices that have huge consequences
Absolutely.
for himself and probably for a lot of other people, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
So the article goes into his background a bit. And, the guy's young, only 22.
Right.
He's had a rough time of it, apparently lost his job.
Mm.
His dad's in prison.
Oh.
And he's just watching this war unfold on TV.
So he's seeing all of this happening.
Yeah.
All the images.
And then next thing you know, he's in Ukraine.
It's hard to imagine.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
it makes you think about the role of the media
Uh-huh.
and how these events are portrayed.
And how they influence people.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But then there's this other layer to the story,
What's that?
which is his background in the 22nd Signal Regiment.
Right.
So, for those who don't know,
Yeah.
the Signal Regiment, they're all about communication and information systems.
Oh, wow. So, like, super important in modern warfare.
Absolutely. They're the ones keeping everything connected.
Wow.
From like frontline radios
Yeah.
all the way up to these complex intelligence networks.
I bet that kind of knowledge is really valuable.
Oh, yeah. Hugely valuable.
Especially in a conflict like this.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, but on the flip side, it also makes him a high-value target.
totally.
And this is where it gets even more interesting.
Oh,
Because the article says he was fired from the Army,
really?
but then later on,
Yeah.
he talks about wanting to use his skills to train Ukrainians.
So he was fired,
Yeah.
but he still wants to teach military skills?
It's a bit of a contradiction.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Like, did he go there to teach
Right.
or to fight?
It doesn't quite add up.
I mean, it's possible he was downplaying his expertise
Yeah, uh-huh.
to his captors.
To make himself seem less important.
Yeah, less valuable.
Right.
So they wouldn't,
Yeah,
try to extract information from him.
exactly.
Or maybe
Yeah.
he really was disillusioned
Yeah,
and saw this as a way to find some purpose.
right. Like he was lost.
Yeah, I mean, this war,
Yeah,
it's drawn in people from all over the world
it's true.
for all sorts of
He's
reasons.
looking for adventure.
Yeah.
Some maybe trying to right some wrongs.
Right.
Some just drawn to the fight.
Yeah,
It's complicated,
absolutely.
for sure.
And then there's that second video.
Oh, yeah, the one where he's just
Yeah, he's just spouting off these random phrases.
almost like he's not making sense.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Makes you wonder what was going on there.
I know. Do you think he was trying to send a coded message?
It's possible. I mean, people have done that before,
Right.
but it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a sign of the stress he was
Oh,
under,
yeah.
being captured,
That makes
being in
sense.
a foreign country,
Yeah.
not knowing what's going to happen to you.
Right.
I mean, that would do a number on anyone.
For sure.
So that could be it too.
And this brings us to another interesting detail from the article.
Okay.
They mention North Korean soldiers
What?
fighting alongside the Russians.
No way.
Yeah, in Kursk.
North Korean soldiers in Ukraine.
Apparently so.
That's
It's
crazy.
like a real-life game of Risk.
Right. With all these players.
Yeah, from all over the globe.
It's a whole other level of complexity.
I know, it just shows how international this conflict has become.
And the potential for things to escalate even further.
Especially with that alleged Storm Shadow missile attack.
Oh, right. The one that reportedly took out a top Russian general.
Yeah, and hundreds of North Korean soldiers.
Wow. And these are British-made missiles, right?
Yep, so that definitely raises the stakes for the UK.
For sure.
And you see that reflected in the responses from the UK Foreign Office and the Ministry of Defense.
Yeah, they're being super careful with their words.
Super careful, offering support to Anderson's family,
Uh-huh.
but not confirming or denying anything.
Not giving anything away.
Yeah, which tells you just how sensitive this whole situation is.
It's high-stakes diplomacy.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So after diving into all of this,
Yeah.
it really leaves us with more questions than answers.
Totally.
Like, why would someone like Anderson risk everything
Yeah.
to join a war in a foreign country?
It's a big question.
What are the larger implications of having all these foreign fighters.
On both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole new dynamic.
It is, and it makes you think about the ripple effects
Right.
of individual choices on a global scale.
Yeah, like one person's decision to go fight in Ukraine
Yeah.
can have repercussions all over the world.
And I think that's what's so fascinating about this story.
It is. It really makes you think
It really does.
about the world we live in
Yeah,
and how interconnected everything is.
exactly.
I mean, what do you think all of this says about the future of warfare?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, is this a sign of things to come?
Yeah, like, are we going to see more and more conflicts with these international brigades?
Right, with people from all over the world joining in.
It's definitely something to think about.
It is. And it makes you wonder what the long-term consequences will be.
Yeah, for everyone involved.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note,
Yeah,
it's been a fascinating deep dive.
it really has.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me.
And until next time.
Keep asking those tough questions.